All right, excellent. Thank you so much to the team at Web Summit for putting this wonderful summit together. I've been to plenty, and this is very well organized. Today, I am going to be having a discussion with Maju, and I'm actually going to start by introducing him further by explaining that he was at Amazon for 8 years, most notably in a vice president role in tech, building technology, powering prime logistic capabilities, especially in the early days. And today, all of us can't imagine a life without Amazon Prime, where we can order something and it arrives on the day of, if not the next day. So I wanted to ask you, Maju, what parallels do you see from your days at Amazon and now with agentic commerce?
Thanks, Gina. Great to be here. Well, I think, I had a front row seat when I was at Amazon when we were building like same day fulfillment, like 1 hour fulfillment. Even the story of like when we launched our 1 hour delivery, I was in New York, doing ride-alongs with our delivery partners and getting people order that they just ordered like 25 minutes ago, and it was like magic for them. But there was always this tension of like, do we really need to go that fast? Do customers really need all these orders? That isn't 2 day fast enough? Isn't that good enough? If people want something, they will just go to a store and buy themselves.
Right.
I think today, as you mentioned, like we cannot imagine not having the ability to order something and get it delivered the same day or same hour. I feel the agentic commerce is in a similar pattern. We may think like, do we really need agents to go and buy for us? Is that needed? Why can't we just go and buy something by ourselves? And then as the technology evolves, I feel like this is one of those enablers. Probably 5 to 10 years from now, we'll look back and it'll be like, wait, we used to go to all this different website and type all these things and look for things, and today we have these agents potentially will be buying for us. So I personally do think this is another big transformation probably in commerce.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, I'm building what I'm building and excited to talk
exciting.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely spoiled as consumers, and it's interesting to see how this landscape is evolving. So in the future, do you see AI agents shopping for us, and will we have our own personal agents essentially shopping for us?
I do. And I know, like I mentioned, it might be a little bit of a stretch for us to kind of think that, but not all shopping is the same, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can think of, there are some things, like today we might do a subscribe and save. Like things we need, we know the brand, we know the product, we need it. Do we really need us to go and buy it all the time, or would we rather have some agent just
Basic necessities too.
Basic necessities, it would be good to get it. And today you can do that with subscribe and save with one vendor. Why limit to one vendor? Like you may want to look at Amazon and Walmart and Target and get it cheapest and always look for the cheapest deal and bring it for us. Then there is the next tier of things that are like, the things we need. Like we are going, let's say we are speaking here at Web Summit and we want to get our dress or whatever together. It would be nice an agent kind of think about that ahead and go and look and give us some options, give some styling options and
totally.
About that. Clearly, I need it. You probably don't need it. I definitely need it.
Yeah.
But then there are some things that are high consideration that we may not need an agent. So in the spectrum, I don't look at the commerce as all as one.
Yeah.
As always, there are certain things that an agent will do much better. And
for sure.
Then there are things we might personally enjoy it and want to do it, and we will see that evolution over time for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that you could put certain variables, for example, into a system where you say, hey, I need waterproof boots in this price range by a certain date, and there would be a bot that essentially determines what you're purchasing and fulfills it at that as well. So when I was doing my research, I was actually taking a look at how many online shoppers actually abandon their carts, and 65% of online shoppers abandon their search when they're faced with more than 50 product options. So I know personally as a woman, for example, if I'm scrolling on Instagram and I have an ad, for example, for Revolve pop-up, I'll click it, and historically what would happen is you would be taken to a home page with plenty of options, and then sometimes there's decision paralysis. There's so many options and you exit out. So for that business, they've essentially lost money because I, as a consumer, didn't purchase, but I clicked that ad. What is Spangle doing that's different to solve that problem?
Yeah, that's a great example. You see an ad, click on it, and it's a broken link,
Yeah.
or you don't see the product that inspired you, that's a huge missed opportunity for the brands.
Yeah.
And the amount of money all the brands are spending to be visible and bring that traffic is either the second or third expense for most of the brand.
Okay.
Look at it. And some of the brands spend almost 10 to 20% of their revenue to like bring that traffic to their website.
Yeah.
So what we do is, like at Spangle,
Yeah.
which is the company I'm building right now,
Yeah.
when a customer gets inspired, they click on that ad.
Yeah.
Instead of taking them to a predefined website, we dynamically create an experience for that customer real time. So it's literally a store that created for you in real time based on what inspired you. So
Okay.
companies like Revolve
Yeah.
use that today and seeing
Yeah.
a lot of benefits.
So how does that work? So for example, how would Revolve know exactly what products Gina would want when it comes to shoes or clothing? Where do they get that information from?
Yeah, that is all context. So when we speak about AI and
Yeah.
agentic,
Yeah.
one of the main fundamental enabler is the context.
Okay.
And for example, you are on, let's use the Instagram example,
Yes.
right? So you're on Instagram, you're looking through something. Instagram has amazing algorithms to
do.
literally find the exact product that might, get you excited.
Yeah.
And there is, it's all about the attention economy right now. So you got your attention for a second, you're clicking on it. So at Spangle, what we do is our agentic system kicks in at that point.
Okay.
So we look at the Meta Ads Manager
Okay.
and figure out why did Gina saw this ad,
Okay.
and what was the specific image or the creative, the copy,
Yeah.
what was the segment. We take all that information. So now we have that context. Traditionally, what happens is all that context is lost at the minute you are going from an Instagram to a brand's website.
Okay.
What we do is we take all that context, use that as a initial point
Yeah.
to curate a website for you
Yeah.
in real time. And
amazing.
this was impossible before AI and agentic capabilities, right? Like, I mean, this was the dream of everyone, even when we were at Amazon.
Yeah.
The dream of, I mean, why is e-commerce different than a physical store? Like a physical store, you can only lay out one way,
Right.
and then everyone will see the same thing.
You're limited. Yeah.
For e-commerce, there is no reason for you to have the store look the same way. Everyone should see something completely unique for themselves. So historically, it was very hard to do. You can keep pieces widgets and different pieces. Some components of things might change,
Right.
but you cannot recreate the whole experience in real time. AI unlocks that,
Wow.
and that's that we use that context to derive that real time.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. So to paint a picture, let's imagine I'm scrolling on Instagram. I click a Revolve ad because there's a pair of shoes that stand out to me. Once I click that ad, now instead of just taking me to a generic page that every other woman in this room would see, there would be curated items that I, Gina, would actually want to purchase, which is really interesting because even in general, I think a lot of us can relate to the idea of sometimes you're texting someone. For example, maybe you're talking about a pair of shoes and you're like, wait a minute, you see an ad for it a couple of minutes later or a few hours later, and you're like, how did you read my mind? So this is definitely something that I think is very innovative. Now, taking it back to the actual brands, for example, will AI agents become the main customer instead of humans then? How do you see that evolving?
Yeah, that's a great point, because if you think of websites or apps, everything is created for humans.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's optimized for human psychology. Like if you think you go to a website, sometimes you see a little pop-up comes in asking for your email.
Yeah.
Or there is the color, the text, the layout. All of those are optimized for human psychology.
Exactly.
And if agents are shopping,
Yeah.
turns out agents doesn't get excited about the color of the website or
Right.
the font size
Yeah.
or the positioning or the layout or the image.
Right.
They get excited about different things.
Exactly.
So, and what does that mean for all the brands, right? Like, okay, if half of your shoppers are agents coming in, now you need to start thinking and optimizing. And the analogy I use is like, you are a restaurant and you used to have all the people come to your store, and then all of a sudden there is DoorDash.
Right.
And so half of your customers are buying through DoorDash. Like, okay, does the restaurant need to look different? Because all of a sudden, I guess the physical restaurant, the way you lay out and all of that doesn't really matter. Other things matters. The same thing matters to the brand. I think it is, the time is right now for anyone to kind of start thinking about this new wave of agents shopping for you, and then start thinking, how do I become more visible there? And
Right.
not just visible, that's just one part of it. How do I kind of, once the agent's coming in, how do I get them excited?
Yeah.
And how do I win the deal? How do I bring them back? How do I build loyalty? How do I, all those things is very different. So
Okay. So, for example, I, as the consumer, would be feeding my agent information with respect to what I'm looking for when it comes to criteria. From a brand's perspective, when it comes to price, quality, or speed, what are things that they should be mindful of as this landscape evolves?
yeah, I think, the thing is, you are delegating
Right.
the shopping task to
Yeah.
an agent.
Yeah.
Now, agent is buying for you. Now, for the brands, that means you have 1 degree of separation to the actual consumer. So, how do you build that loyalty with that consumer who is one step away? Because what if, you know, what if the agent is getting incentivized to do things that are not necessarily good for you, right?
Exactly.
Or how do you make sure that you as Gina is connected to the brand and loyalty? So the brands need to like start thinking in that, okay, when I have this 1 degree separation from the actual consumer, how do I still do all the things
Yeah.
that I need, which is to stay relevant? And so what that means for brand is, okay, you can make yourself visible in all the different chatbots, and I'm sure all of us are spending a lot of time in Claude and
Yeah.
like all the chat GPT, all of that. Okay, first and foremost, you need to be visible there, but
Yeah.
that's not good enough, right? Now you need to like think, how do I merchandise
Okay.
to the agent, knowing that the actual customer is one step further away? And for that, the brands need the level of that intelligence
Yeah.
to take care of the agents coming in, do merchandising to them real time based on the context of what
Right.
they are looking for. How do you win the deal? How do you, give incentivize them to come back? And then, so there is this whole agentic optimization that needs to do for brands to not just make a sale, but build that lifetime value when you are still at 1 degree of separation from.
That makes sense. Like, it's one thing to have your brand pop up when someone does a Claude search or a ChatGPT search, but it's another thing to actually have a strategy backing it that leads to conversion.
That's right.
So, another thought that I had is the risk that comes up is, imagine if Nike secretly told AI, show everyone our shoes, but not Adidas. Do you see AI becoming unfair or tricky?
Well, I mean, I think, whenever we have one intelligent system,
Yeah.
we are at the risk of that system having biases, right? I mean, this has been I built 3 of the largest AI systems that run Amazon worldwide.
So impressive.
It's always kind of, whenever you build an intelligent system, this is one of the hardest thing. And it is true that AI only knows what is fed to it.
Yeah.
It's really good at putting it together the right way in the right context, but it only knows what is fed to it. So if you are a brand or an individual or anything, and if you have no real way of inserting yourself in there, then you're invisible.
Right.
And if someone else can insert something that is more valuable or more relevant, then you can kind of, have a disadvantage. So I think the risk is very real.
Yeah.
And consumers, though, is getting more and more used to using this, AI for a lot of personal things. And that this is the reason why we started the company Spangle, and also why we work with the brands, because brand sovereignty and control, having relationship with the customer,
Right.
and then building all of that in this new world is a whole different game, and
Yeah.
it's not something you can ignore.
Yeah.
You have to kind of go ahead and.
So I know that you've been working with some prominent brands like Revolve, for example, and a lot of brands in general are very, very desperate to make their ads work better. And generally speaking, when I did my research, brands spend billions of dollars on ads. So where is this catching on the most, and what's making it so popular, and how would one potentially implement it?
Yeah, so when we started building Spangle, originally it was for this agentic traffic,
Yeah.
but agent traffic is still evolving, right? I mean, it's still in the large scheme of thing, it is still a smaller traffic. It's evolving fast. But we saw a lot of similarities that this, this is already happening in the ad world,
Right.
right? Like we talked about before, Instagram is already doing a lot of work with the consumer
Right.
before they send that consumer to your site.
Yeah.
And if we don't take advantage of bridging those, which is the same way how you take care of an agent, like Instagram is acting as an agent in this situation,
Right.
why can't we take that and provide a better experience for human today and tomorrow for the agents coming in? And these brands are seeing, for example, with Revolve, they saw a 60% increase in return of ad spend, or ROAS is the term that all the marketeers use.
Yeah.
You understand? So they saw a 60% increase in that ROAS, a 50% increase in conversion, because turns out people like when they are presented with choices that are very relevant to what they are looking for, and so it seemed to be really working well for even brands that spend a lot of time and effort on their own internal infrastructure, and that's really catching on. So we're fortunate to work with a lot of brands right now to
Yeah.
help them with that.
That's amazing. So if I wanted to integrate this system into my existing business model, could you walk me through a simple process of what that would look like?
Yeah, so today it's very simple. We tell brands, give us a blank page on your website,
Okay.
and then send all the traffic coming from outside to that blank page. And that blank page will become whatever a consumer wants to become. So that blank page will become the storefront for every consumer based on what you are looking for. So when you are looking for a boot, it will look like a boot store. When you're looking for a dress, it will look like a dress store. If you're looking for, a summer in Miami dress,
Yes.
which like
I love going to Miami. I told them earlier. Yeah.
so, and it will look like a summer dress shop for Miami.
That's
So that
amazing.
one blank page, send to any traffic. Now, for humans, we can create the storefronts real time at infinite scale. And for agents, it's the same thing. You send to that same blank page, and we can recognize that it's not a human, it's an agent. So we can speak the agent language, whether it's JSON, LD, or whatever languages that an agent really understand. We can format it a way that is beautiful from an agent eyes, and make it work for them. So it's very simple way for people to integrate into.
It's very simple, but it's so innovative at the same time. I feel like as a consumer, I'm going to be more mindful when I'm clicking these ads and even seeing if it's being integrated or what that looks like going forward. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a bit of a background on Spangle and what this is going to look like in terms of innovation and evolution with AI.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you all. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.